That's how she saved Jason herself. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Arcane Season 2. We're now into episode 5, which is called Blisters and Bedrock. Doesn't sound comfortable either way, but last episode we have a time jump of a year. Things are not going good. A war is raging on. Piltover is oppressing the crap out of Zaun, and Zaun is ready to rebel. Jinx. I keep calling her Powder. Wow, I'm worse than Vi. Jinx has been hiding out this entire time, but the time has come for her to come forward now that she realizes people are actually rallying behind her, and more importantly that it's starting to endanger people she actually cares about, like Isha. And on the other side of things, Ambessa is getting much more desperate because her daughter has been missing and this war effort has not yielded the hex tech that she'd hoped that it would. So I'm excited to get into this episode and hopefully see some of the faces we were missing from the first episode. So let's do that. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Not Scowlage. Oh, hey, we remember Metal Jaw. Didn't Vi punch the crap out of him, didn't she? Is that the rat? Ew. That's the dude. That's the enforcer dude. Vi, is that you, girl? She sat down with Pink. I guess she's back to where she was in prison. This rocker look, though. I dig it. Yeah, she is not happy. She's not doing well. Man, mirrors aren't cheap. Pushing everybody away. Oh, Vi, girl, come on, get it together. Oh, not you showing up to fight drunk, girl. Wow, talk about depicting a spiral in 2 minutes. That is the definition, kids, of a spiral. And a different form of depicting depression. Is she really there?
Looking good, sis. Wait, just...
Okay, she's really there.
He's alive. We both know that's bullshit.
She's letting you choke her. That's not like Jinx.
He needs our help. I can
Our?
prove it.
I mean, for her to show up like this, you have to know she was pretty serious there, Vi. She's not the type that would have literally endangered her life like that without a reason. Because she knows, just like you showed her, that you could kill her pretty easily. Oh, you survived. Barely. That mask saved those pretty faces. Nothing to say. No quippy remark about how war, this is just the cost of war. No? Okay. Ah, this scene is gorgeous.
Of sweat and tears.
Is he still in
I begun
there?
to think we might finally see an end to Zorn's perverse abominations.
Interesting.
I have forbidden their use. If you do not want to waste away the remainder of your days in one of these, you have one recourse.
Does he look like the kind of man that's scared of pain?
This is your final chance.
Look
Tell
at him.
me what you were
Does
planning.
he look like he's afraid of dying?
You will rot in here.
A penny for figuring out whatever the hell is going on in that man's mind. He makes no sense to me. Oh God, what is that? No? Oh my God, is that Mel? No, my God, she deserves better than this. No, my queen. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm best like, girl, you cool, but I'm not going to forgive you for putting Mel through this because this is you. If you'd warned her, she wouldn't have been able to potentially protect herself. These cutscenes between what's real and what she remembers is crazy. A year like this? With roaches. Oh, no. People need to pay for this. I don't even know what the Black Rose is, but they deserve to die for this loon. Painfully.
Hope you find these quarters to your liking.
I don't know why you're even punishing her.
Peacock Princess?
Sorry, just an old family joke.
Who are you?
Stick flare.
Step into the light.
Please. It's enough. So he's not dead, I was right. That's
It's
what,
me,
when they
Brother.
said that the
No.
details of his death were
Mel,
not easy to figure out or were not clear.
I'd hoped they'd never come for you.
Well, the Black Rose are bastards, because why are you taking these two kids? I mean... Vander would have not wanted any of this, but...
This is where I lost him.
That's cool. The sound-activated lights.
Cool, huh? Not even toxic.
Hun!
Well, pretty sure.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't eat it. Or that you should eat it.
You decided to throw him with the Pilty goons who murdered Mom and Dad.
Well, at least they never had to see the psycho their daughter turned into.
Facts.
One was on out of Stillwater while you were passed out in the bottom of a mug. Now can it and keep walking before I kick your ass again.
She really is delusional.
You wouldn't last 1 second without all your ugly gadgets and chicken shit tricks.
That's true.
Ha! What about those over-designed bitch mittens you didn't even build yourself?
Also true.
Last chance to surrender.
Go right ahead, fat hands!
Did she really be looking to get hurt? Yeah, you deserve that. That was between two sisters, girl. There's things you don't need to get involved in. Right, Vi? Never showed that much care for you, but that's okay.
Last time Vander needed us, we tried it alone, and nothing was ever the same. Maybe this is like a do-over. He's your father, too.
Wow, big words. The clapping. Love it.
You will serve me. My enemies will be yours. Your weapons will be mine. In return, I will supply all your needs. You will be treated as an Do not test this, or you will yearn for Caitlin's dungeons.
Again, does he look like he's scared of pain?
An incredible tolerance for pain. With him, I was able to make strides impossible with any other specimen.
Okay.
The man forever lost in the bowels of the beast.
Is he? Maybe you just weren't the one to bring it out of him.
It now seems I had yet to uncover the right catalyst.
What did I just say?
Blisters and bedrock.
Oh, episode 10. Guess he still hates you, Silco. I feel that. Ooh, good camera work. So how are they getting food down here?
Did Mother commission a statue?
They both hate her, damn.
How did you know to do that?
Yeah.
It's like some sort of puzzle.
Okay, Mel, let them know how
You know,
smart
what
you are.
happened to you? How did you wind up here?
Yes, how
She
did
didn't
you?
tell you. In Basilic, I started hearing strange rumors about Mother.
Kind of
Different
rumors.
than the usual kind.
Do tell.
Fell in love.
That's not our mother.
Are you sure?
Indeed, but the more I inquired, the more I started believing it.
Why are you rolling up on me like that, bro?
The affair led to a child.
Another sibling?
Simply put, whatever that child inherited is of terrible interest to our captors.
So it's neither of them?
One such mystery caught my attention. The curious dismissal of a revered Academy alchemist.
Oh, you know his name. Maybe they dismissed him because he clearly likes to test on animals and people.
Dr. Revik. You're a monster.
He is.
Why does anyone commit acts others deem unspeakable?
Can we just give a quick answer? What's the key? Well, this room is slightly less creepy, but not actually. Now it kind of looks like an underground church. Oh God, who do you have in there? What in the twisted Snow White?
Everything I've done is to cure her.
Really? Okay.
I believe the beast may hold the final key.
Precisely what are you trying to cure?
Exactly. Please, details. Explanations.
That affliction we all suffer.
Death.
Death.
Oh, so she's gonna be immortal?
Mel?
I'm getting us out of here.
Good girl. Has it been a year for her? I'm so confused, because how are they getting food? I don't trust her brother yet, by the way, either. I'm not convinced yet that he's not working with them.
There are consequences for someone who fails these tests.
I mean, any worse than being trapped down there?
Makes you wonder why she kept this from you, doesn't it? For all these
See, he's not really there.
A healthy sense of self-preservation, I'd say.
Yep.
You aren't my brother.
Who are you? What have you done with Kino?
Oh, that's a creepy trick. That makes more sense, unfortunately, because I was like, there's no way he's been down here all this time. Come on, Mel. These are mind games.
That is to you,
Damn.
sister.
Come on, Mel. Hell yes! Bitch! That's how she saved Jason herself. That's how they survived. So this is Vander's old home? Place? Hideout?
I told myself what I did to you was for the greater good, that you deserved it. But the dirt was on both our hands.
That's true.
If he found this, everything might have been different.
What if I held it back, or held back from touching her? I don't know if this reunion's a good idea, guys. I don't know. Vander's not, I don't know. Especially since Vi's first instinct is to hit first and to ask questions later. Yeah, this tunnel's not looking so friendly no more, guys. Can we leave? Someone clap quick. The light. Oh, that is so smart.
Something's got him riled up.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the smell of fresh blood? I told you. Vi is always going to hit first. Ow. Ooh, damn. You telling me both of them are going to have to live with the guilt of killing Vander? Woo. Oh God. Are you okay? Just... He's trying. Oh, the blood. Oh no. Oh, and the wolf on the back of her jacket just made that connection. Another poster-worthy shot. Seriously, this show is art. Wow, not you yelling him into a flashback. Young Vander. Who is that? Is that their mom?
I'm knocked up.
Damn, okay, just drop it like that. Who's the daddy? Do we not know? No? She already took a drink.
What did Connell say?
I haven't told him. Working up the nerve.
That's their mom, right?
And it hits me that this one word is a decision she's gonna live with her whole life.
Thank you for taking that much care, because some of these parents, I wonder if they really be thinking about that.
You two are gonna figure this Zahn thing out. I don't care if you have to carve it out of the bedrock, covered it in blisters.
Bedrock and blisters.
Blisters and bedrock.
Blisters and bedrock. I've always liked the name Violet.
You mean Xander? I mean, Vander named her? Why do I keep calling him Xander? Kind of going on my brain tonight. Aww. Put the flame out, maybe. Aw. She's been waiting on that hug for a long time. He's just like, so do I just hang out here or? Guess so. All right, now we have a problem because now he's being hunted. Does this mean he's actually in control of his mind? Or is this just a moment? Victor? Maybe? Yeah, Victor. Or someone he healed. The room. Oh, thank God, it's bringing them back. Jeez. Oh, kind of rugged. Kind of like it. Sorry, are you all right? Oh, it's you.
Sallow,
How?
what are you doing here? Jace,
Victor did it. The healer. Oh, right. Okay.
would you want to speak with him?
That's creepy.
I feared I wouldn't have the chance to speak with you again.
Okay, that's creepy as hell. He can possess them?
Is Sallow still in there? Where else would I be?
That's creepy. I don't like it.
Everything.
Very kind, Sallow.
That's so creepy. No, it's a no for me. No.
Done with Hextech.
Are we okay, Jace?
I've helped so many.
I don't like you, Victor.
Hextech isn't a miracle. It's a curse. We have to end it, Victor.
Oh, that's not gonna happen now.
You seem different.
You think?
Something happened.
Good one, Captain Obvious.
Your mind suffered.
Don't offer to fix him.
I can't let you leave. I'm sorry you feel that way.
I wouldn't fight.
I'm sorry too.
Oh, it's like that. Damn, Jace. He just smashed that man like a grape. What the hell? Oh, Jace is not our nice little boy anymore, is he? He just, but like, there's nothing left of him. I mean, I suppose Victor can probably put him back together again, but oh no. I didn't even think that that was what he meant when he said a healer, when that girl's, but I should have known she wouldn't send him to the mad scientist. But then again, I don't know. I don't know who that Catwoman is. Whew, all right, guys. Well, episode 7 was what? There was a lot happening there. We finally checked in. At least we've got 2 of the people we didn't see last episode in this one. But let's talk about first the situation with Jinx. Okay, well, let's talk about our girl Vi first. Vi is who we started the episode with. Unsurprisingly, she's not doing well. As I said, I think they did a fantastic job in the first 2 minutes of the episode showing exactly what someone who's caught in a depressive spiral looks like. In you know, one of the ways. It takes on many forms, but Vi is someone where, you know, I mentioned last episode that Jinx is emotionally stuck in her childhood from that day that happened where she lost Vander. And for Vi, she's somewhat stuck in the same place as well. All of her formative years were behind bars in one of the worst prisons, literally having to fight for her life every day. That's what she knows. That's sadly her comfort. That's where she feels like is her ground zero, especially she doesn't have her sister beside her. So now that she lost Caitlyn, lost her sister again, she felt like she had basically nowhere to go and nobody. She went back to the one thing she knows how to do, which is throw a punch, right? Which is sad, but I understand it. And we see like she's dyed the hair. She doesn't want to look at herself. Like to me, whenever I see someone drastically change their looks like that, it is often because they don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to be themselves. So they're doing whatever they can to hide that person from themselves. And we saw Vi punch the mirror. Every time she tried to look at herself, she either threw up or she punched the mirror, right? So I don't think that was an accident. She's very, very hurt right now. She's upset and she's blaming herself for so many things that not all of them are her fault, but definitely blaming herself a lot. I think she blames herself for things between her and Kate. I think obviously we know she blames herself for what happened to Powder/Jinx. And so now she's just living this life where it's basically fight, get drunk, throw up, repeat. Fight, get drunk, throw up, repeat. And she's not happy, obviously. This is not fulfilling in any way. And she's pushing away absolutely anyone who could be there for her. We see that big enforcer who she met a couple of episodes back, it looks like he was trying to look out for her and, be around her because obviously he doesn't agree with Caitlyn's direction. But we saw that Vi was even starting to push him away, right? So again, this is all because she's going through a lot. My take on it is that she, as I said, feels guilty about Jinx, the fact that she wasn't able to either take her out or fix her, right? I feel like Vi is really having a hard time because she's been trying to ride the middle of this for so long, right? She doesn't want to hurt her sister. She wants to bring her sister back, but she knows her sister has crossed so many lines and that her moral compass is all but broken. And she loves Caitlyn and she wants to make Caitlyn happy, but at the same time, she knows that Caitlyn is not understanding or not being understanding enough of where her sister and other people in Zaun are coming from, and she's really tried to be the bridge, but that's a very, very big job, first of all. And second of all, it's often one where you end up getting shot from both sides. And that's basically what's happened to her. Like for the people of Zaun now, she's the enemy. For the people of Piltover, she was never really fully accepted. And so she just kind of feels like she doesn't belong anywhere. And it's hard. I think she's just having a hard time and also just figuring out what the heck and who the heck she is in all of this. She hasn't had any time to really figure any of that out. Like she's just been, from the second she was pulled out of prison, it's been straight after her sister, straight after figuring out what's going on. And then it's just been one thing after another. So she really hasn't had a lot of time to breathe before all this happened. And then finally, when things got to a point where she had time to think, nothing was the way she wanted it to be, right? Her sister still at large, the girl she fell for, the first person she felt like she could connect to again, ditched her. Like again, she just kind of feels like she's got no one and nothing and she doesn't know where she's supposed to be. So just trying to hide from her life in the booze and of course taking out all the frustration and anger in her fights. And, showing up to a fight drunk, like Vi knows better than that, but I always would say she kind of wanted to get hit a few times, right? Again, feeling pain takes your mind off of physical pain will always be less than emotional and mental pain. That's the sad reality, is many people will take that over having to deal with the demons in their closet. So anyways, sad to see, but we see that Jinx did find her and basically found her to let her know that she found Vander, and that they need to rescue him, figure out a way to get him to stop becoming this rampaging beast. And so, of course, at first, Vi thinks she's lying and almost chokes her out. But in the end, I was like, come on, Vi, you know your sister better than this. If she's letting you choke her out, it's because she must really want this. Like, Jinx is no weakling. I mean, again, straight up hand to hand, I do think that Vi is still stronger, but you get my point. Jinx definitely has tricks up her sleeve. She's no slouch. So if she's just letting you choke her out, then it's got to be pretty important to her. So anyway, we see that they go on the hunt to look for Vander. And of course, there's a few jabs that are coming out between the two of them, which again is a good thing, right? Because you don't bother fighting with someone you don't care about anymore. They both still love each other, right? This dysfunctional as their relationship is, they still love each other. And that's still family. And anyways, in the midst of their fighting, we see that, Isha gets hit. And again, I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for her on that one because you gotta just let siblings fight it out sometimes. That was an A and B conversation and she saw her way out of it with an elbow. Hopefully she'll learn in the future, if the sisters are having their thing, give them a little space. But anyway, the bleeding ended up leaving a blood trail in there. Not a trail, but at least some fresh blood in the tunnel. And Vander apparently was just circling these tunnels because apparently this is where he and Silco used to meet up back in the day. So he's going back to, I guess you could say his most primitive mind was going back to places that were most familiar or maybe places he last felt safe. And that's why they were down in the tunnels. But the blood, we find out the reason why the blood's a problem is far as Isha bleeding down there, is that we find out from the scientist, what was his name now? Dr. Revek? Was it Revek? I think it's Revek. Anyway, something with an R, Dr. R. We find out that he stayed in the cell, right? Which I thought was interesting, that even after the beast attacked, he didn't leave, because he could have walked out of there. But he wanted to be found, and we see that the reason is because I guess he just wants more resources. My guess is that he must have run out of, because we saw that last season, Silco was the one who was providing him with what he needed to do his experiments and do whatever he wanted. But if he's to the point where he was out there hunting wolves by himself and doing all this stuff on his own, clearly things have gotten hard for him. And of course, with the state of the war, he probably is having a harder time than ever getting what he needs. So he smartly went to where he would get support, and that was from Mbessa, right? When Mbessa realized that he is capable of creating things that could be useful in war, she was like, all right, here's my deal. You become my monster. Basically, you do what I say, and in return, I'll give you whatever you need, no questions. So that's what ends up happening. And smart Caitlin figures out exactly who he was before this was all said and done. And he too, like Heimerdinger, was a former, well, also Victor, I guess. But yes, these are former Piltover scientists who've moved to seedier means. I mean, Heimerdinger not because he wanted to, obviously, but just kind of the same situation of being in Piltover at one point and then ending up in the Undercity. But anyhow, we see that he's been trying to keep his daughter alive. Apparently, the experiments he started to do that got him kicked out of Piltover were because they were considered to be, I guess, too spicy. And I definitely see, like, look at what he's done, creating Shimmer, doing all these things were not good for humanity as a whole. So he's just looking for anything, I guess. I'm assuming that his daughter must have been sick with something, because she's young. She's very young. So I'm like, for him to be like trying to solve immortality for her, it sounds more like she's got an illness and he's put her in some form of stasis, most likely to keep her from dying from it. But he still hasn't figured out a way to stop the illness. But I think that that's why he's, saying, let's just take out death from the equation entirely. But I really don't think we're ready for immortality in this world yet. But anyhow, we now know the reason why he's done it and kind of why he really doesn't care about any moral lines he has to cross, as far as he feels like he's going to get to his objective. Now, do I believe this is all for his daughter? No. I think that's what it started out as, but I think he is one of those true mad scientists where he's just wanting to follow the science at this point, and he really doesn't care if it's considered to be ethically ambiguous at this point, right? That's not a problem for him. But anyhow, so that's basically, they know his secrets, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, it shows that he's got complete trust in Mbessa, right? The fact that he showed both of them, the fact that this is his daughter and she's in this place. I mean, that's dangerous for me. I would never, Caitlin, I'm not worried about, but Mbessa, I would not put it past her to smash that little, what would you call it? I don't want to call it a coffin, but that pod that she's in, if she feels like that doctor pisses her off too much. But anyways, I'm pretty sure he's probably got a few fail safes in place just in case. But anyhow, so that's what's going on there. Mbessa now is continuing with, trying to keep her warfare going since the Hex Tech is not working out the way that she wanted. And then, he mentioned in his discussions about the beast, right? Because of course Mbessa wants to hunt down the beast, because that beast took a big chunk out of her mask. She barely survived. Another scar on that face of hers. And he said that he used to be a man and that he had a strong will to live, and that basically he tried to bring the mind back as much as he could, but nothing worked. And the only thing that he reacted to was the smell of blood. So that's why he, of course, created the Trail of Blood. So very interesting, but I said it in the episode and then he validated it for me. I'm like, you just didn't have the right trigger. Like, Vander was never motivated by violence. Like, that was not the person he was when he was alive. At least not fully. Again, we don't know a lot of his past, but anyways, it was really, in the end especially, everything he did was for those girls. Everything he did was to protect his daughters. And so, yeah, that's really what the triggers were. But of course, this scientist, you'd think, actually, now that I think about it, that scientist is an idiot, because if you're a so-called father that's doing these atrocities to save your daughter, why would you not think about Vander's kids? How would you not think that those two kids would be the two things? And you even know one of them, like you've seen Jinx. But anyway, it's fine. But I guess he just, obviously, I think he didn't want to get Jinx involved, because she probably would have stopped him from doing what he did. Or maybe not, actually. If he promised to bring Vander back, she probably would have let him continue. Anyway, but I mean, no, actually, because knowing him, he probably tortured the heck out of Vander first because he said he had an incredible tolerance for pain. Yeah, so that's where Jinx would have stopped him. I get it. Anyway, the trigger of blood is the reason why when down in the tunnels, the girls were down there, Vander smells the blood that came from Aisha, and that sent him into his blood rage. And we see that even though poor Jinx was hoping that just, you know, her presence would be enough to get his attention like it did last episode, he was already in his blood rage. So him and Vi ended up having quite the fight. He took a couple of good punches with those gauntlets. I mean, it looks like she cracked a couple ribs. Honestly, they showed like that flash of his rib cage and it looked like she might have broke a few ribs, but who knows? If it's anything like any of his other beasts, I'm pretty sure Vander will heal up pretty quick. But either way, hear Jinx scream to her kind of because, you know, Vi's in the place. Like Vi, we already know, like Vi is good to go. She's ready to kill this thing if she has to. And finally we hear like Jinx just say like, please trust me, that's Vander. Like, don't kill him. Like, try your best not to kill him. So she shows Jinx that she trusts her, and she drops the gauntlets and just calls his name, and thankfully it's what he needs. It breaks him out of it, and we get a flashback of before the girls were born, and we see Vander and Silco and the girl's mom, who looks like they were a trio of good friends, possibly the first set of revolutionary fighters in this whole thing. And yeah, basically we hear that she was pregnant with Vi at that point, and that she basically chose to change her life around when she decided to become a mom versus a revolutionary. But that explains a bit about the whole connection there. And you know, it makes much more sense with the Silco situation, because we knew that Silco and Vander knew each other, but to me it was never clear that Silco knew her mother. So that actually adds an extra layer to Silco caring for Jinx in the end, because if he did care for their mom, which it looks like he did, then that really should have been like an extended family member for him anyway. So anyways, that would make more sense as to why he was so protective over Jinx, outside of just the fact that she was a good little tinkerer for him, right? So anyway, thankfully, like I said, the spell was broken for at least a moment anyways, and we see that everyone has a big family hug. First hug, well, no, they had a hug last season too. I was gonna say Vi and Jinx first hug, but no, they hugged last season too. But I think this is the first hug. Like I would count this as the first real hug, because now both Vi and Jinx know who each other is. You know what I mean? Like there's no more pretenses, there's no more secrets. They are both on the clear as far as where they're at, and so that hug was really genuinely a family reunion hug. Obviously Vander's been out of the loop, but yeah, my question now is very much like, how do we maintain this? Like, is he actually back? Like, was that break that he had with the memory now enough to have him keep the rage under control, or is it going to be a situation where it's a switch where sometimes he's in beast mode or he's not? I don't know. I'm hoping that he does have control now, but obviously this is not the end of it, because Mbisa is still looking for him, and she's got the creator of this new Vander, or Warwick as he calls him. Like, yeah, he said he's looking for Vander. Now, will he let Vander go? I don't know. I mean, he's going to want to keep, maybe not, but I'm just thinking, like, if he wants to keep his sweet position right now being left alone for his lab, he might just draw out the whole finding Vander thing, but he really has nothing to lose one way or another by having Vander found. But I do think he doesn't want Vander killed at this point, because he says he wants, oh no, he does want him back. I forgot. He says he thinks Vander has the missing key to whatever he needs for his ultimate goal of saving his daughter. So never mind. He's going to want to find Vander. Damn it. So yeah, that's going to be a whole new layer of complexity for the girls now, because this is good for Vi though. Vi needed something. She needed a purpose again. She was definitely not doing well without having one, as we saw at the beginning of the episode. So now that her dad is back, and well, I don't know about the Powder situation, but the situation is different in the sense that now Powder is this unifying force for Zaun, and that goes back to season 1 Vi, right? Like Vi always wanted liberty and a united Zaun against the Piltover oppression, and now she kind of has that. Like, maybe not in the way she would have wanted, and again, it doesn't mean she forgives what Jinx did, but it's looking like it would be easier for her to slide over to the Zaun side now, right? Again, for those who don't remember her walking around with the gauntlets. But again, Vi wasn't part of the worst of the oppression, to be fair. She was just part of the initial smaller scale infiltration, so maybe people aren't going to hold too much. And again, if Jinx takes her back, then she'll probably be accepted by everyone. But anyways, we'll have to see where this goes now, because I think Vi's got a hard choice in front of her. Does she just slide back to where she was before and then risk, of course, really making an enemy out of Caitlyn? And we know that that's going to be a problem, because it's been a year and she is still dreaming of this girl and seeing her everywhere. So yeah, I don't think we've seen that Caitlyn has used someone to try to move on, but I don't see that happening with Vi. It looks like she still isn't trying to get with anybody. And I get that. Like Vi's background, the way she grew up in the sense of all of her formative years when she probably would have been out there dating and doing all that other stuff, she was behind bars. So Caitlin is going to have a very significant emotional connection for her in many ways, right? I'm pretty sure that's her first romantic relationship. So yeah, I don't think she's going to get over Caitlin anytime soon, but maybe when she sees Caitlin, actually she probably already knows that Caitlin moved on. Anyways, that's what's going on there. We'll see where Vi goes from here. I do think she's going to have to make a choice. You know, she can't be the bridge anymore, at least not while things are the way that they are. Moving on now to Mel. My girl Mel is back. Finally, we know where she is. I guess she's been trapped in this mental hell for a year. The Black Rose have been playing with her mind. They're in her head. They're giving her illusions. And I don't know. I'm assuming like if it's been a year in Piltover, it's got to be a year elsewhere. I don't think there's any time space things going on here, but I could be wrong. But yeah, they've been messing with her, and they even end up showing her a vision of her brother, anything to get to her. And I was 50-50. I still believe, however, that her brother's alive. I really do think her brother might still be alive, but I don't know like in what shape he might be in. I mean, the Black Rose told her that they tried to get him. I guess they did the same things to him that they did to her, trying to get some kind of reaction, but they didn't make it. Did they say past tense? I don't think they said past tense. So my point is, I think he might still be alive. What shape he's in now is a completely different story, but I don't think the visuals that they created for him is probably based on reality, with the grown out beard, the disheveled hair, the ripped up clothes, the scars. I feel like that's probably real. So he might still be alive, or maybe that's the way he looked last. But either way, this poor girl has been here in their mental torture zone, reliving what happened the day she was abducted multiple times. And we find out that the reason that the Black Rose were so interested in capturing her outside, because here I just thought it was battle things. And I'm like, okay, like it does make sense on a battle perspective. If Ambissa is your biggest opponent, if she's got a kid, take her kid, see if it'll make her surrender. But I guess they probably knew that wasn't the case, since they took her son and she still didn't give it up. So it turns out there's a story of Ambessa going to somewhere and falling in love with someone there and having a kid. And of course, she looked shocked, but it's making me think that potentially Mel has a different father and that her mother never told her, which understandable. But anyways, she's saying that that knocked her off her feet when she heard that, because she's like, our mom's not the kind to like fall in love with some weirdo. And again, it's sounding like she was still married when this happened, or at least in a relationship with their dad, or who they believed to be her dad. So I wasn't sure of the timing, because the way they were saying it was like, oh, is this like a third kid? But no. I guess they were basically saying that one of these kids they know is the child of someone who they did not give us details on who the dad is, but clearly it was somebody who's got something special, because they said that child inherited something very valuable. Now, my question now comes to, does Ambessa know that Mel has a power? And has she just kept it from her, or did what she could to keep Mel from ever exhibiting it? That doesn't feel like something Ambessa would do, because considering she's been warmongering practically her whole life, having a daughter that's a weapon is exactly what you'd want. But I mean, she already did try to make Mel into more of a warrior, and Mel was the one who rejected it. But I'm thinking that Ambessa didn't know. Or maybe she might have thought it was possible, but just, you know, because she never saw anything, never thought much of it. I don't know. But either way, the Black Rose took Kino initially because they were thinking maybe he was the kid, and if that was the case, then they could manifest this power that they hope to use. And I guess that didn't happen, and now they were doing it with Mel. The constant mental pushing was to get her to manifest this power, and it looks like they finally broke through, because we saw her eyes go red, light up, and then a big burst of golden light. So we don't know what the light means yet. They didn't show us anything. It definitely looked like it was breaking through whatever the Black Rose was, you know, using to mentally rope her up. But there were people in my comments who said that there's a possibility that Mel has a power. And this is obviously true. So that's my guess, is that is how Jason Hurst survived the explosion. Her power came out. She didn't know, because she didn't know she had it, but her power came out, shielded them both, and obviously went away before anyone saw anything. And of course, in all the mayhem that was going on, no one would have noticed an extra flash of golden light, right? So that's my theory, is that Mel saved them. That's why her and Jace had nothing on them when everybody else got at least a few scratches. So anyway, that's where we're at with Mel. Lots of questions still, like, oh my gosh, what is it? Like, how does this work? And what does the Black Rose want with it? And then they're going to try to force her to use it for them. Like, what's going to go down? So anyways, that's very cool. And I want to see more immediately. And then on the other side of things, Jace is back at least. Still no Heimerdinger, no Echo, but we see that Sallow, who was recommended to go to a healer in the Undercity for his legs. It turns out it was Victor. I didn't even think about that, but yes, Victor did whatever he does with Hex Tech, and we know that Victor obviously used it to heal what he had going on. That's one of the reasons he looked to it in the first place, and he healed Sallow, but now he's got some weird kind of hive mind thing going on. That is really creepy, guys. I don't like it at all. But I don't know that that's Victor. I think that's the Hex Tech. But again, we know that Victor and Hex Tech have amalgamated, right? Because he was in that cocoon for God knows how long. So I don't think it's fully Victor. I think it's the Hex Tech and it's taken over Victor to get like a consciousness that can communicate with humans. That's what I'm thinking. I think Victor's in there, don't get me wrong. There's like an element of him, but I think the Hex Tech is who's calling the shots, really. So now the Hex Tech is like, this is the way we can replicate ourselves, is we'll just keep putting ourselves into all these humans, and then that way we're good, right? We'll decide how this Hex Tech's used from now on. So terrifying. And anyways, we see that the fact that Sallow went back into the chamber, I think that made the Hex Tech react again and it spit Jace out. Jace looks like he's glitching. That's the best term I can use for it. It's reminding me of the Spider-Man movies, the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales ones where like they keep glitching, like that's what it's giving me. But anyways, Jace looks rough. Beard grown out, looking real rugged, like, the hammer he has looks like it's been used a lot. So we don't know where he's been, what's been going on, but I don't know. I'm thinking for him, it hasn't felt like a year, but it has been. And he basically was like, what's going on? Who are you? And he knew who Sallow was, but he was like, how are you walking? What's going on? And then he figured out that the Hex Tech had been applied. And then, yeah, the whole weird virtual conversation with Victor. But in the end, basically, Jay said, nah, the Hex Tech is not what we thought it is. It's a problem and we need to get rid of it immediately. And obviously, Victor's not going to agree with that, right? Again, I think it's Hex. I think it's the Hex Tech. It's Pod Victor at this point, right? So anyways, we see that Sallow tried to leave with two things. I don't know if they were generators or what, but he had two things from the Hex Tech thing that he pulled, and Jace literally cleaved this man in two like a piece of hamburger, like just smashed him. Yeah, apparently Jace don't give a damn no more. Like that's the Jace we know before would never have taken a life that simply, especially if somebody that he knew. So yeah, that's where he's at. Something went down. Something has happened to Jace that has made him not the guy that we remember. And I'm very interested to know where he's been. And more importantly, where is Echo and Heimerdinger, of course. Why are they still in this? Were they all in the same place? Did they go to separate places? I just need to know. So, plot is continuing to thicken, guys. I'm loving it. And what's crazy is that like we only have one more episode in this particular arc, but I'm like, how do we only have 4 episodes left? Like, you're making the plot more interesting. What do you mean? And then we're done with this show forever. Like, I just gotta trust that we're gonna get a good roundup of all of this and potentially some doors open to whatever they're gonna spin up in this universe next. But yeah, very, very good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I will see you in the next one.